Today I'm traveling solo and taking you along on Embarkation Day aboard Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas, sailing from Barcelona on a repositioning cruise all the way to Cape Town, South Africa. I am Bonnie from Voyage Cruise and Travel, and with over 55 cruises and visits to more than 77 countries, I love helping travelers know exactly what to expect. From airport arrival to check-in, dining, finding your cabin, and sail away, I'll share tips to make your first day smooth and stress-free. So let's get started. I traveled overnight and went directly from the airport to the ship with Royal Caribbean's arranged transfer. This has to be booked in advance by calling Royal Caribbean with your flight details. I personally like taking the Royal Caribbean transportation when it's just me, because then I don't have to deal with taxi cab. It's just all, they take your luggage right away. I don't even have to carry it at all. So that's always a benefit for me. I arrived around 11 in the morning and met Royal Caribbean representatives right outside baggage claim. Because I had cleared customs in London, the process was simple, but we did have to wait for about an hour for other guests arriving from the US. Once everyone arrived, we headed straight to the port. Royal Caribbean relies heavily on their app, so be sure to check in ahead of time at home or in the airport and have your boarding pass ready on your phone. I kept mine in my Apple Wallet for easy access. Even though my boarding time was 1:30, we arrived earlier and were allowed to board. The terminal is small but efficient, with seating, duty-free, and Wi-Fi available. I downloaded my eSIM called GigSky while still at the airport using Wi-Fi. That's really important because installing it on board usually will not work. I used GigSky for land and sea, and it helped with light communication, which worked well for emails and texts when I was on the ship and off the ship. But you cannot stream or upload or really send any pictures. It was just great because for about $40, I was able to keep in touch with my family and friends for over 2 weeks. Before I even board, I always switch my phone to airplane mode to avoid the roaming charges. And then I use Wi-Fi on the ship or an eSIM. The app looks like this, it's blue. So the key is to have your phone in airplane mode, and then you would introduce Wi-Fi because it's a data plan, and I'll explain more about that later. Sitting here connecting it in the Barcelona port here. Everybody else is checking in, but I'm trying to get this going because it will cover land and cruise, and that way then you can keep connected and it won't be as expensive. One thing you want to make sure of when you're so tired, I just left this GoPro. That's really not too smart. So you really have to be careful. I can't believe I finally have made it here. It's quite a journey. Almost lost the whole story there for a moment. Luckily I found it. I set my things down on a chair to get organized because we had to go through passport control, and I didn't realize that I would do something so stupid. So just be careful when you're tired. That's one of my other tips. Once on board, I went straight to my muster station that happened to be right by the entrance, and I knew that because I looked at my boarding pass and it showed the area of where I need to go. Checked off my name on a list, scanning the boarding pass, and then I was good to go for the rest of the day. I didn't need to circle back and check in again. I had done that right away. Embarkation felt calm and spread out, with guests enjoying the buffet, bars, and lounges rather than gathering in one central location. Royal Caribbean has a lively but balanced atmosphere with something for every age and energy level. So this is where a lot of things happen here. That's the Café Promenade and some shops. Shore excursions and guest services over there. This direction, next cruise is my floor, but all the rooms that are right up here, one of them's mine. I'm now off to see my room. So I'm at 6303. She said it's this way. Port side, I think. On the luggage. 6303. There's the layout. This is a guaranteed stateroom. I asked for an inside cabin, but they gave me a promenade kind of a view. This is different. I've never done this before. I don't know what it will be like noise-wise, but we will see. I just came off of Princess, so this is a little bit smaller. This is something unusual. So I did say inside cabin. This is a perfect room for one person. It could be that these rooms are soundproof or, noise proof. I don't know. If I could get something different, I think I'd like it better, just because I just anticipate it being noisy. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go see what my dining room looks like. The Windjammer is open until mid-afternoon, about 3:30, and Café Promenade is open 24 hours a day for snacks, pizza, and coffee. On Embarkation Day, it's a great idea to check your main dining room table early if you have assigned dining. The reason for this is that if the table location isn't quite what you've been looking for, or say it's not the right amount of people at your table, say you want a table for 2 and you're with a table for 10, it's like that one, and I don't want that, so we will change it. Speak with the host or hostess as soon as possible. It may take a day or two, but persistence usually pays off and you will get the table that you're wanting if you are persistent. Royal Caribbean is known for fun, high-energy events, so packing a themed outfit can be a nice bonus because they have a 70s night, an 80s night, a white night, a Caribbean night, those kinds of things. So it's always fun to kind of dress for that theme and just have fun. It's Halloween here on the Voyager of the Seas, and everybody's in costume. I honestly think that this is probably more going on than I would have at home. But there's kids trick-or-treating earlier, and then we're going to have an adult parade. But they don't tell you any of this, so I'm just letting you know if you come on a Royal Caribbean ship for Halloween, you're going to probably want to bring a costume or pick something up. I happen to have this cape from my Cunard cruise last year, and then they have a mask. So it's kind of fun. This is where a lot of the parties happen, and it's deck 5. This is the solarium area. It's nice. I'm glad we have this. I forgot about this. On the very first day, I love to check in at the spa and take a tour and see what it is they have to offer. Sometimes they have indoor saunas and jacuzzis. It's just nice to see the setup of the spa, and a lot of times they do have some promotions in the first day, or they have spa raffles, so make sure that you check that out. It's just a good idea to see what is offered.
We also have 2 nail technicians. So if you want to do your nails, fine ice pedicure, manicure. So basically there's exfoliation, callus removal.
Floors are nice. The gym goes all the way down. That's the workout room. Lockers. It's right there in the front of the gym. It's different. So they're not sharing it with the spa. You sometimes can get 30% off online if you book on the app, or you can go to the shore excursions and then they have a spa section. And I happen to like to book on the first night sometimes because their entertainment usually a comedian or something like that. So a lot of times it's a perfect time to go have a massage if you need that after traveling. And usually it's at a discount, like I said. And then you've had an early dinner and you just call it an early night and then start your day at sea the next day. That's what I like to do. There's the solarium, a better picture. There's 2 whirlpools, there's the bar, and then there's all these seats. This is a perfect solarium for warm weather, but when it's cold and it rains, it's kind of a hassle because this is all open. This is the front of the cruise terminal, where I came in earlier today on the bus, coming around 6 o'clock. Apparently there are a lot of single people on this cruise. There's 2,700 people total, and they say that the reason why I have the room I have is that all the single cabins or all the inside cabins are taken. I don't know if I believe that, but she said I need to try out my room first, and that if it's really bad, then they'll go address it. So, I don't know, I don't really like that, because that's not what I asked for. I don't think I'll be doing guaranteed staterooms anymore. Maybe it was a little cheaper, but not that much. Sailaway was quieter than I expected. I don't know if it was due to the time of the day or the cooler weather. Most guests chose to be indoors. I can tell you that coming in from a 2-day event to get here really takes some energy out of the whole embarkation day. I haven't been running around as much as usual. And you know, everything's on the app, so I have to figure that out. My phone was kind of dying and I had to charge it, so. I saw a long time ago that this went to the back and now it's closed off. I think they've had a remodel where they took some things from the solarium. I know the spa used to be there, and I think they brought it over to the midship because the gym looks newer too, and they don't have any sauna or steam room. We're going to be taking off. And they do have new floors in the gym, so it just has been upgraded a bit. It's funny, I noticed some people on here that were on my last spice route out of Dubai. So I guess maybe once a year there's some things like this. I'm going to check into what's next year. Curious. And then some people are on here for 65 days because they are going to take this all the way to Singapore and then do some things within Asia. Maybe go to Vietnam and things like that. So imagine 65 days. I don't know. That's a long time. I can't really do that, but. Another thing is usually the dining room is pretty chaotic because people are trying to change tables and a lot of things are going on the first day. So what I try to do is book maybe a specialty restaurant like a Zoomies, and it's usually about $35 and it's a really nice food. It's a nice calm atmosphere. I can eat a little earlier or a little later. On this particular day I ate around 6:30, and that way I could just deal with the dining room. I put in my bid to change my table since it wasn't to my liking, and I was going to just handle it the next day when the crowd had died down. So I would recommend that if you're not interested in waiting around and it's just chaotic. So it's just a nicer way to start the cruise. The Zoomies, it's really full by the windows, but this is what my menu looks like. I really like coming here on the first night because it's a little less chaos, and plus I'm hungry. I didn't even get to the buffet today. I was too busy. They were recommending the crab right there. The spicy crispy shrimp roll or the rainbow roll. They also have bowls, yaki udon, and some ramen, miso ramen, poke bowl. But usually when you pay for the one dinner, you get one small plate, 2 large plates, and a dessert. That looks beautiful. Wow. Wow, look at this beautiful stuff. Strawberry, mango, and green tea. Mochi. So it has been my pleasure showing you Embarkation Day aboard Voyager of the Seas as part of my solo journey all the way to Africa. I'll be sharing dining, entertainment, ship features, ports, and my land journey beyond the cruise. So be sure to check out the full Voyager of the Seas playlist. And if you have found this helpful, informative, or you've learned something, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more cruise tips and travel information. Thank you so much for watching. Happy cruising, and until next time.